Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX India A-List. In our endeavour to bring forth the stories of some of India's finest and brightest, today we have put together yet another unmissable telecast with India's who's who. Well, first we have with us Mr. Vijay Venkatesh, who is the CEO of Empert Consultants, an executive recruitment firm providing leadership hiring, niche and turnkey hiring, startup hiring and career services. He has over 17 years of experience in executive search, having led C-suite and board-level searches for corporations across a variety of industries, including startups and VC firms. Have a look.
Starting a new venture during pandemic. Tell us about it. How did you decide to start it during the pandemic?
IT infrastructure, remote infrastructure was hiring in a big time, and manufacturing, yes, was hiring in a big time. So there were a couple of industries which were hiring.
Seizing opportunities amidst a crisis. 17 years of experience. I'm sure that must have really helped you shape it.
2008 recession. 2008-10, the financial meltdown. That's when, if you see, a lot of senior leadership hiring happened in the country.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Vijay Venkatesh for excellence in business. Hello and a very warm welcome to NewsX A-List. Today I'm joined with Mr. Vijay Venkatesh. He's the CEO of Empert Consultants. A very warm welcome to NewsX, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, Richa. Hope all well. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for asking. Vijay, very interestingly, you started your organization during the pandemic. And, we've heard like during the pandemic, a lot of people started their work, but it did not go forward the way they would have desired. But yours has. So tell us about it. How did you decide to start it during the pandemic?
No, I was always inclined to be own. I having working in the executive search space for the last about 16 plus years. Then having worked on an entrepreneurial role in my previous organizations, that's when I said, let me start on my own. And I felt pandemic was the right time. I had the place where I was working, I was given an opportunity to lead a larger role. But then I decided, let me launch on my own. Just about June 2020 or July 2020, we decided we should start on our own, and we moved out, and that's how the organization started. But then people told that was the time organizations were closing down, hirings were and all of that. But I was always sure there are certain pockets of the industries which were still hiring. For example, infrastructure, IT infrastructure, remote infrastructure was hiring in a big time, and manufacturing, yes, was hiring in a big time. So there were a couple of industries which were hiring, and we've been working on very senior roles then, having worked in the industries, working with promoters, founders, and across SMEs, family-run organizations, and MNCs. Yes.
That's something new to hear, because actually we've all heard it the other way. So it's very interesting to hear it from you that there were actually hirings happening during COVID.
Hiring did happen, yes.
And yeah, your 17 years of experience, I'm sure that must have really helped you shape it in a way, your consultancy in a way that, it's helped it go forward now.
Yes. Yes. In fact, having closed a lot of CXO roles, worked with a lot of promoters and chairmen, had their leaders across verticals, across industries in the country and outside the country. That helped me in actually, I mean, when we started, they were very happy to support. See, good or bad, the hiring always happen. Good times or bad times.
Okay. Maybe, and right now, so what do you say? Which sectors are hiring?
In fact, during the bad times, only many of the organizations which is not able to afford certain kind of candidates are only during the bad times, or they are able to get in those people. For example, in 2008 recession, 2008-10, the financial meltdown, that's when, if you see, a lot of senior leadership hiring happened in the country.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Small firms are not able to afford those the qualified candidates because could be of various reasons. But then salary levels were obviously less. They were willing to take a cut. But yes, a lot of hiring happened. And to be frank, in the last 5 plus years, we have always been in a hiring growth in pockets. If one industry goes down, the other industry comes up. So, be frank, from two people, we have come to about 70 people over the last 3 years, right from time which we had about two pandemics, three lockdowns. But then the organization's growth, it talks about the kind of hiring country has seen, and we have, as an organization, have seen.
So,
Not just in India, but also outside the country.
Vijay, can you help me understand which sector is hiring right now? So where do you really see the hiring spring at this particular moment in 2023?
Uh, what I see is manufacturing is one which is hiring big time, thanks
Okay.
to China plus one strategy. A lot of MNCs are coming in. Also, the company which is Indian organizations are also going in for capacity expansion, which means also hiring is happening. Infrastructure, there's a lot of happening in the real estate, ETC, power and infrastructure. And BFSI is also hiring in a big time. And in technology, certain areas, especially GCCs and GICs, setting up operations in India, they are hiring big time.
So when you talk about
Yeah.
hiring and in tech level and infrastructure level, are we looking at certain sectors? Are we looking at the top notch which are hiring, or are we actually looking at mid-level hiring also happening right now a lot?
It is across. A lot of, if you see the project launches in the country, real estate and the government spending in terms of infrastructure, government spending in terms of logistic parks, the logistics policy have all actually turned into hiring across levels. It's not just at the leadership level. This is across the spreads, mid, entry, and leadership.
Interesting. So if you talk about somebody who's wanting to do a career shift at this point in time, let's talk about somebody who's not at top level, because top level, you really do not do a career shift. It's usually at the mid level or the lower level. What would your advice be to them?
Uh,
Which sector
see,
should
one
they towards?
shifting the career is something which they have to take a strategic decision.
Yes.
I mean, I would not just at this moment, but generally, you have a doctor for your health and a lawyer for your legal thing.
Yes.
But careers also have to be done properly. You get an opportunity, you don't jump into it. You need to see which are the industries which are growing. What is my opportunity? If you fill a triangle with a lot of people, dots, consider those dots as people.
Mhm.
At the top, you have only one dot, that is a CEO or a CXO level. But the person has come from the bottom up. But why many are not able to reach? Because they were not able to plan the careers properly.
That's
Career planning is extremely important in career. I mean, you see a lot of people getting fired at the age of mid management, and we call it as mid career crisis in this space. You
yes.
need to plan career very properly. You need to work with career consultants for this. And in terms of which are the industries, I said these industries are hiring. Infrastructure, HR roles are being hired, procurement, estimation, execution, and in the banking, if you see, a lot of sales roles are getting hired. Wealth management is hiring. Wealth management space is hiring. Branch banking, transaction. A lot of segments across the industries are hiring.
Which I would want to know two very important things from you. One, if somebody wants to start off new, you started off your own business, so starting off new, what is your advice to them? And after that, I'll have to before I let you go, I have to ask you one more question.
I'll tell you, don't focus on value. Valuation. Don't start a business for valuation. You see, a
Okay.
lot of big firms saw a valuation game. People, money was pumping in. They thought pandemic is going to last for a very last long, and then they jumped into. See, if you're looking at a small time window and then want to do something, it's not going to last long.
Okay.
And you should start your business for value creation.
All right.
That is what I would suggest people.
Makes sense.
And we didn't get any funding. We started on our own, and today we are a profitable entity.
That's excellent. Vijay, if what is a sector right now, like a new sector that you feel that is aspiring, that is growing up for people to make, to start their careers in? There was a point in time where people would not talk about startups, would not be entrepreneurial in our country. Now that has been an in thing for a long time. We see a lot of people, youngsters, now shifting towards the understanding of AI. So what do you think? What is that new sector where people and the youngsters should focus on?
Semiconductors.
Yes.
That is what is India is the world is. If you see it is very simple. If you see the world's problem today,
Yes.
Semiconductor has been a major problem. Electronics, AI, and semiconductors. This is going to be a boom in the next 5 to 6 years. I mean, there's this huge amount of hiring happening in the space. Though you don't have a semiconductor fab facility in India, there are a lot of semiconductor companies which is called the design firms in India. They are hiring, and this is one sector which is going to really see a boom in the country.
Thank you.
Electronics manufacturing, I would put it this way.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Richa.
Thanks a lot.
All right, next we have with us Dr. PK Harikumar, who's a consultant, cardiac, thoracic and vascular surgeon. He holds 13 years of complete experience in the surgical field. He has single-handedly performed 4,000 cases, including both adult and pediatric cardiac surgical cases independently, which also includes CABG with total arterial revascularization valve replacement. Listen in.
Expert insights on cardiac surgery.
Which is the most common type of cardiac surgery?
CABG, commonly called as a bypass surgery. It is done on the for the blockages of the coronary arteries. Coronary arteries are actually vessels which supply oxygen to the heart.
Offering new hope to his patients.
If there is a message for our viewers from you.
See, the heart is one of the few organs in our body which is continuously working without any rest. It beats around 1 lakh beats a day.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Dr. PK Harikumar for excellence in cardiothoracic surgery.
Hello and welcome. You're watching a very special episode of NewsX India A-list. I'm being joined by Dr. PK Harikumar. Dr. Kumar, we don't have enough time with you, sir, so I'll get right into it. My first question to you, sir, which is the most common type of cardiac surgery?
Yeah, the most common type of cardiac surgery is called coronary artery bypass surgery, otherwise called as CABG, commonly called as a bypass surgery. It is done on the for the blockages of the coronary arteries. Coronary arteries are actually vessels which supply oxygen to the heart.
Absolutely, sir. And what are the possible reasons for getting a cardiac surgery today?
The heart is actually basically a muscle pump, which almost pumps like 1 lakh beats a day. It is basically made up of muscle, and it's got a covering called as pericardium, and it has got 4 chambers, and it has got 4 valves, and the arteries supplying the muscle pump. So disease can affect any of these 4 components. It can affect the coronary arteries, leading to heart attacks. So we might need cardiac surgery for that. It can affect the valves. Valves are nothing but like doors in between the heart chambers. So there are 4 valves. The disease can affect them. So we might have to repair and replace. It can also affect the chambers where there are abnormal holes, where some children are born with holes between the 2 chambers. So cardiac surgery is needed for all these things.
All right. At the same time, sir, of course, you've told us about the most common cardiac surgery, but what are some of the other various types of cardiac surgeries that are now available today?
Yeah. Basically, we can actually say cardiac surgery in the adult where the coronary arteries are involved and we have to do a bypass surgery. And the valves are involved where we may have to repair and replace the valves. And some children are actually born with diseases like abnormal holes in between those chambers. They can also have abnormal sizes of these chambers, where one chamber can be big enough and one chamber can be very small. And the arterial supply also sometimes in the children are affected. So basically, we can say we have adult cardiac surgery and pediatric cardiac surgery, where the cardiac surgeries are done in children.
At the same time, sir, how risky is cardiac surgery and what are some of the common complications involved?
The cardiac surgery is not as risky as before. There's been so many advances now, and cardiac surgery is a very commonly done surgery and is relatively safe. Having said that, the complications or risk, it depends on the type of surgery we do, the heart's condition, whether it's weak or whether it is strong enough to tolerate the surgery. Sometimes extremes of age, like in very smaller children, a low birth weight, having low birth weight, malnourished children, the risk is quite high. And in sometimes in a very elderly patient, the risk is higher. And when other organs are involved, along with the heart, for example, the kidney is involved, when there's the stroke, when there is a stroke, the risk is quite higher.
Okay, and I'm
Normally,
sure, right. Go ahead, sir, please
yeah,
complete your point.
normally the common surgeries which we do, bypass surgery, for example, closing the hole in the heart, these are very relatively safe surgeries. They carry a risk less than 4%. And there's a chance for success almost like more than 95%. So cardiac surgery nowadays is relatively a safe surgery to be done.
Okay. At the same time, sir, I'm sure audiences want to know what are some of the post-operation precautions that every patient who's had a cardiac surgery should be following.
Yeah. The most importantly, the patients have to follow our instructions. They need to take proper medications, keep their diabetes under control, and the blood pressure under control, follow the instructions. And secondly, cardiac surgery is something where the post-operative exercises we advise them, and the post-operative physiotherapy is very, very important. So they need to get the physiotherapy regularly done and regularly do their exercises. And of course, follow the lifestyle modifications we advise them. Most importantly, they need to stop smoking and do some dietary health, take some healthy diet to avoid further complications.
Absolutely. And at the same time, Dr. Hari Kumar, I'm sure people watching would also want to know what are some of the recent advancements as far as cardiac surgeries are concerned.
The recent advancement mainly is what we call as MICS, or minimal invasive cardiac surgery. Normally and traditionally, we need to open the chest in the front and break open the bone, which we call as a sternum in front. Nowadays, the cardiac surgery can also be done in few selected patients, not in all patients, in few selected patients through the side with a smaller incision, what we call as minimal invasive cardiac surgery is mainly the valve repairs or replacements and coronary artery blocks can be done through a smaller incision from the side, and we can avoid opening the cut opening the bone in front.
So besides having to, not cut the front part of a person's body, what are the other benefits of this minimal invasive cardiac surgery, sir?
Yeah. The benefits are, the first thing is the healing is faster because we go to the side and the incision is smaller. And secondly, the pain is also is less compared to the traditional cardiac surgery. And thirdly, the patients get discharged sooner than the normal cardiac surgery, and they can get back to their work sooner than the normal cardiac surgeries.
Dr. Hari Kumar, thank you so much for enlightening our audiences with all of those details. But before we let you go, if there is a message for our viewers from you.
Yes. See, the heart is one of the few organs in our body which is continuously working without any rest. It beats around 1 lakh beats a day, and it's very important for us to take care of the heart. Make sure that you screen yourself or have a regular heart checkup if you're more than 45 years, and especially if your family members, one of your family members has been affected by cardiac, any cardiac condition in that young age, you need to be more careful and make sure you have a regular exercise and stop smoking. Most importantly, stop smoking and take a healthy diet and most importantly, try to avoid stress. Of course, many of us, it's very difficult to avoid stress, but have some methods like, for example, yoga or meditation to avoid stress.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. PK Harikumar, for joining us on NewsX India A-List.
Joining us now is Nitika Shahi, the founder and director of government relations for Cemento Pro, with a track record of excellence in managing diverse facets of marketing, business development, sales and government relations. She possesses a wealth of experience and expertise, and Nitika has an impressive background of being employed in Jetaways, Dell Technologies and advanced conferences and meetings. We have a great conversation with her. Listen in.
Leader at the forefront of innovation. Differs it from or are there other things that you feel that you provide which others do not?
Bringing a platform for understanding what are the policies that are prevalent and how it can be implemented on ground. So that is our collaboration with the Government of India, and we have been blessed enough to have such a collaboration with them.
Marketing expert in MSME and rural development. It's been 6 years. What do you have to say about it?
An entrepreneur, no matter what, should always be passionate and be a risk taker to really believe in what they dream of and then bring it to an implementation level.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Nitika Shahi for excellence in business. Hello and a very warm welcome to NewsX A-List. Today I'm joined with Nitika Shahi. She is the founder and director government relation for Cemento Pro. A very warm welcome to NewsX.
Thank you. And it's really a privilege to be here. It's a great platform by NewsX for the A-listers, and it's a privilege to be here, like I said already.
Thank you so much. Why don't you tell us about your brand, and why don't you tell everybody what all does your brand offer?
Sure. So to start off with, we registered this company in the year 2016. Okay. That is my co-founder, Mr. Suhaib Ahmed, and myself, with the vision of developing a socio-economic platform. So the idea was to not just limit event management to a buyer-seller meet, but to actually tackle the problems on ground that business owners, entrepreneurs, or solution providers face, in a day in, day out basis. So we have a very diverse portfolio. We cater to the construction and real estate sector. Okay. We definitely cater to the MSME and startup market. We cater to rural development sector, and we also cater to women empowerment. Other than that, now we are obviously moving towards catering to the defense sector. And the entire idea is based upon bringing in innovators, policymakers, solution providers, people who are business owners in one forum to discuss and really take the implementation or really resolve a problem on ground. And obviously through an enhanced network of, giving them an informative platform. So this is what the brand is. This is what our work has been for the last 6 years in the country. And our primary motive is to not just limit it to the development of our business, but also a development for everybody, each and every citizen of the country in India, where it benefits them to that level.
The unique style of your organization also, and that's what differs it from, or are there other things that you feel that you provide which others do not?
Yes. So like I said, we have a very diverse portfolio of catering to various different markets. And what we focus on is quality over quantity, right? And we look at bringing in or bringing a platform for understanding what are the policies that are prevalent and how it can be implemented on ground. So that is our collaboration with the Government of India, and we have been blessed enough to have such a collaboration with them. Right?
That's what I wanted to know from you about your government collaborations of your organization.
Yes. So to start off with, we have worked with Shri Narayan Raneji for the MSME and startup sector, where we primarily focused on the export promotion of the sector to increase the export. Other than that, we also looked at unlocking financial opportunities for the sector, which really pushes them to deliver innovations or to take their innovations to the next level. We have worked with Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti ji to generate employment in rural areas. So bringing businesses to rural areas, so the employment is generated then and there for them, and they don't have to sort of travel to different cities or come to a tier 1 city and look for opportunities. We've also worked with we've worked with Shri Rajnath Singh ji, and we were going to work with Shri Rajnath Singh ji and Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi ji for the Make in India concept drive in the defense sector, again focusing on creating employment opportunities there. So all in all, this has been our journey with working with the government and our collaboration. One last thing that I would like to mention is we've also worked with Shri Kaushal Kishore ji on Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is the affordable housing sector for the real estate and construction segment. Yeah, so that is what we've done collaboratively with the government of India.
When we talk about marketing, and as that's what your forte is changed over the years.
Yeah.
What is the difference that you see, especially with the onset of social media, the way it is now? It is no longer the
Yes.
traditional style how we used to consider marketing to be. So how what's the change, and how do you adapt to it, and what is your suggestion to the others?
Sure. So, see, I'd like to give a very, very researched answer for this. So social media definitely entered the marketing space long time ago, but the push in the MSME and startup sector was during COVID. So
Yes.
traditional businesses never really adopted social media techniques until it was COVID. It was only during COVID that the first generation businessmen, right, understood the need, because we were not connected. We were only connected through digital platforms during COVID, and understood the need of utilizing this. Today, their businesses have actually gone 2x or increased a 2x in sales and marketing because of using this platform. So all in all, the digital literacy, the digital transformation has really changed the dynamics of marketing. And COVID has just given us all this push to be available or to be seen on Google, Facebook, and many other social media sites, right? So yes, marketing's entire analytics, dynamics, everything has changed post-COVID. That's how I'd like to put it for the MSME and startup sector primarily.
And talking about startup sectors, you're an entrepreneur yourself. What is
Yeah.
in your real learning as an entrepreneur? It's been 6 years. What do you have to say about it?
Well, there's a lot of learning to be clear on this. A lot of learning, but the most important learning that I have incorporated is the learning of perseverance. So there is a quote: "An idea is just an idea unless it is implemented." So that is the second learning that I have as an entrepreneur. An idea is just an idea, but we here at Some Entrepreneur try to implement these ideas. And an entrepreneur, no matter what, should always be passionate and be a risk taker to really, really believe in what they dream of and then bring it to an implementation level.
And when we talk about, would this be your mantra for business as well, that risk-taking factor should always continue? And what are future plans for the business also?
Yes, this is my mantra as well. Risk factor should always continue, and passion should always continue. Dream should always be lived. And our future plans is obviously to take whatever we have done in India successfully for the last 6 years international. And that is something that we will be doing next year. And other than that, delivering more diverse platforms which cater to the ground level citizens of India.
And before I let you go, tell me something. If there is somebody who wants to be a part of a business like yours, what is your advice going to them?
Somebody who's going to be a part of a business like ours would be looking at the after sales service. That really, really changes the game for any company. So enhancing networking and looking at the after sales service and really, really, helping businesses to kind of stay connected is something that they should focus on right from the inception stage.
Thank you, Nikita. Thank you so much for speaking to NewsX, and congratulations once again at your endeavor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Richa. It was an honor to be here on NewsX.
On that note, we take a short break. We'll be right back.